How long does it take a particular group of people to trace their roots? Because I wonder when I saw that people of Igbanke from the Edo State, they are now trying to say that we are from Igbo land, and they even changed the traditional title of their place into the Eze. So I was surprised that, is it today you now know that you are Igbo? What do you think is happening?
I think it takes a longer time for people to understand what they call regeneration. It happens anytime. People tend to lose identity as a result of a lot of things. Regeneration, relocation, location, migration, and all that. These are factors that can lead people to lost identity. I remember when the Israeli government, under a few years ago, was trying to talk about the lost tribe of the Jews. They believe that they have a lost tribe. So it means a tribe can actually be lost. That's what it means. But how do you now begin to look at and trace where you actually come from? I can tell you in honest truth, the Portuguese and the British, damaged, especially the British, damaged the geographical comportment that gave people a identity as a result of their colonial interest. They make sure that they do a sort of divide and rule. Indirect rule. All those kind of policies was what they actually introduced. And remember, in the ancient times, there has to be issues of, conquest. Who is more powerful, and who is this, and who is that. So the Israelis themselves have discovered that the Igbo people come from a tribe they called Ni in Israel as at that time, and that Ni will have the people they call the Hebrews. The ancient Hebrews are actually blacks. The ancient Hebrews. When you talk about Tutankhamun, of the pharaohs in those days, you discover that they were blacks.
Well, those are the ancient Egyptians.
Yes. So I'm just trying to give you an insight before I dive into the issue of the Igbo origin. How when it started and how it came to a point, where people begin to see, this fragmentation begin to happen. I can also give you the insight of the Ndoki people. I'll give you the insight of the Ijo. The spelling is not IJAW. We know the history there. Well, then the Akwete people, the Anang people, so you can see over time, people seem to lose an identity. People seem to lost, their origin, their beginning. If you go to some places in Taraba, you see that there were Igbos that are now seen as Tarabans, as Hausas, or as whatever language that is there. But in their history, they are Igbos. Wow. But they don't know where they come from. Nobody's telling them anything. But they only carried that tradition of culture, of information transfer. Let me put it that way. That our great grand said that we are from Igbo.
So is it as a result of migration? Is that all?
No, of course no. The quest of civilization, the quest of man trying to survive, can take man to any location. And from there, you can regenerate and lost identity. I can tell you that. So, but it depends on how big and strong that entity is. There are some tribes that are no longer existing in the world compared to ancient times. I can tell you that. But if you see, when the invasion came between that 13th, 14th, 15th century, the Igbo has already had contact with the outside world. The man that wrote about the Igbo people, the Ekwano, if you can hear about him, that was in the 18th, 16th, 15th century or thereabout. So there's this agenda that Igbos are the ancient people, they're the ancient Noks, Noks. You understand? So, and if you look at the first invasion of the Assyrians that destabilized. Assyrians carried the, Israel was one block. We have the Samaritans, we have the Judea. As at that time, there was nothing, every human being started from Iraq. Every human being on earth came from Iraq. Whether you are this, you are that, the genesis of it is Iraq. But at a point, God wanted to define a reason why man is dying. The reason why you are seeing this thing is that God was trying to tell man, for the love I have for you, you shouldn't have died. But these are the reasons of why I want to separate you from death. Then God decided to choose a particular tribe based on that tribe curiosity to know how come there's heaven and we don't know the person that created heaven. How come there is air? We don't know the person that created air. How come there is water? We don't know the person that created air. So they believe that somebody that did this thing is higher than them. So the quest to get in contact, and God saw their heart and decided to choose Israel. Listen, Abraham, whatever, yes, Israel. You understand? God chose Abraham from the same source and said, I will separate you and make you a chosen generation. So it is the decision of God based on what Abraham was able to do. And let me give you an insight what was recorded about Abraham as at that time, even though we know that Abraham came from the land of Africa. Abraham's father was a idol worshiper. So when he carved out all his idols, he will give it to Abraham to go and do what? Sell. And Abraham adopted a strategy that caught God's attention. And that was what we are seeing today. And what is the strategy? Come and buy a God that have eye and he cannot see. That have hand, he cannot walk. That have leg, he cannot walk. So people are asking, where did this young man get that wisdom from? This thing we are seeing as our God, and you are saying, and truthfully, have eye, cannot see. Then there must be something. And that was how God said, because you have done this, I've chosen you. Move from your father's place. That was the beginning of the migration. And they came to a place they call, Israel. They become Samaria and they become Judah. They turn to bring themselves together. Abraham coordinated that. Then the first invasion happened. The first invasion to take over Israel was done by the Assyrians. Those Assyrians scattered Israel, and every tribe was on the run. Some go to different locations, some go to different places, whether it is God knows how. But that was the migration of the Igbo people down to this area. And if you look at it, from Israel to Ethiopia, down to south here, the distance is not much. So the Igbos actually moved from that direction to this place. They first settled in Igala. After anchoring in Igala, like Tierra stopover, they moved finally to Amambara. That was the Amambara we are talking about today. And they became a Nok Empire. They got themselves into the Nok Empire and begin to build that Nok Empire. Nok Empire was what translated to the Benin. The Benin people, Benin is a tribe in Igodomigodo. They were not called the Benin, they were called Igodomigodo. And if you look at the translation of that Igodomigodo, it is not associated with any other language but Igbo. But inside the Igodomigodo as a kingdom, there is a tribe that is as powerful as anything, and that tribe is called the Benin. The majority of Benin people are the Igala people. And if you look at, as I said, the Nri himself had a stopover down before he got to, of course, Anambra in Igala. So that was what happened. That at the point, there was this establishment of identity, of the Igbo people within that Aziz.
So I mean, how do you think the newly discovery can translate into
No,
development?
people doesn't know about it, until a lot of people start questioning what actually happened to Igbo. The question of Igbo fragmentation, just like Benin Empire. How can you say the whole Benin Empire is reduced to Ring Road? Go to Ring Road. Is that the empire that stretches everywhere? Is that the empire we're talking that stretches all over the world, all over the African continent, that's been reduced to just Ring Road? So there's a problem. But the Benin Kingdom has struggled to maintain that Commonwealth, but it's not working. But that does not mean that they do not have their identity. They have their identity. So the Iwanke Kingdom was part of the Lok Empire.
In Benin,
As at that time,
state of
yes, and it was recorded that Asian and Urobi people, too, some of those people in that Aziz were part of that Nok Empire. It was that Nok Empire that was the strength, the bedrock of the Benin Empire. But a lot of people will not come and tell you, it's just like when they said Tinubu was behind Buhari. Nobody was talking about Tinubu, but everybody was saying Buhari.
So what you are trying to say is that the real Benin Kingdom itself has roots from Igbo side.
Of course, they will even tell you that the Onitsha people are Igbos, are Benis. They will tell you that, and it's true. They're both people. Happy Weka, where is he from? Is he not the Gala man? So I'm trying to tell you, the kingdom stretches. See, bros, the British government, the British system, did a lot of harm. Go and check the original history of the Igbo kingdom as at that time. It got to the point that go and look at the ones the Portuguese wrote about Igbos. Right from Niger, Taraba, Benue, those axes were all seen as old Eastern province. But the fragmentation that started happening, the demarcation started happening, another. And once the Martin Namdekano came on board and started calling for Igbo origin, Igbo unity, people begin to say, and he said, Ibanke people, this and that. There's another communities there too, but it happened that Ibanke was so prominent. And Ibanke has produced a lot of powerful figures that we are talking about today that came from that Aziz they called Senabini. The late Idahosa, Benson, is from Ibanke. The former military administrator of somebody, Mumudia, is from Ibanke. His father is from Ibanke. His mother is from Benin. Rema, we are seeing today who happens to be one of the hip hop artists. He's from Ibanke.
Celebrated one, not ordinary one.
Ladi Lawal is from Ibanke. A lot of them is from that axis that has made a global mark. All these guys I'm talking about today, they are from that axis. So the consciousness came to a point that people begin to discover the truth. What is Mazen Namdekano talking about? How did we come about Igodomi Igodo? How did it come about the era of Ogiso and the era of Oba?
Ogiso Kingdom.
Yes.
Ogiso Dynasty.
Yes. So these things begin to happen, and people begin to see that we are actually one. How come that we separated? Bro, I can tell you that a Benin man that went to Onitsha, after 200 years of his generation, will begin to speak Igbo. Go and do your research. A Yoruba man that went to Igbo land, after 200 years, he will begin to speak Igbo.
Yes, of course. 200 years is too far.
No, I'm just telling you, go and check, go and do your research. So the British government did this thing conveniently, for not that they love the black race, but because they want their business to thrive. Because they know that the power of unity will not allow them to penetrate. So they look at it and say, I cannot penetrate the Igbo kingdom, the kingdom. For 35,000 years, they introduced indirect rule.
Now, before we are going, have you heard about Oromiyan from Yoruba land who went to Benin and give birth to Eweka? What is your belief towards that story?
I don't know. I think I have tried to understand that very well, and it took me to the coronation of the President Ewure, the Opolopolo too of Benin Kingdom. I mean, the serving Oba of Benin currently now. When he came to the throne for the first time, I had the privilege of meeting the former VC of University of Benin, who happened to be the chairman of the local organizing committee, and who understands the culture and tradition of the Benin Kingdom. And everything that was done there signifies that there was an era of Ogiso and there was an era of Oba. Then how would you justify that? He told me clearly that the Obaship came as a result of Oduduwa
in Benin.
But the era of Ogiso is different. Era of Ogiso was the beginning of civilization of the Benin Empire. There was no Oba then. Nobody talks about Oba. But the Commonwealth of the Benin Kingdom stretches everywhere. Anywhere you go to and you see somebody say Oba of this, know that there was a Benin Commonwealth there. Controversial as it may, I would not want to go there because from what research I was able to do, I found out I saw certain things. But let us talk about Ogiso. You understand? Let us talk about Ogiso himself. At what point, how many centuries were we having Ogiso as the highest king in the empire before we move to the Oba? And who are those people who were behind the Benin Empire? They are called the North. Who are the North? The North are the people from Arochukwu. Ibuku Kingdom. There was a Ibuku Kingdom. The British hide a lot of things.
So, in a nutshell, it's like we interwoven inside each other, especially in that Benin. First of all, the genesis from Igbo. Later, another one from Ife.
Yes. No.
What do you see?
What happened was that the Eri and the Ri, played. You know that Igbo, that word IGBO, is the fourth son or the fifth son of Iri. It was called Igbo because they have a woman, one woman. They born one woman. You understand? But the one they can't call Igbo, where everybody can't be Igbo now, was the last born. So Igbo was a name of one of the sons of Eri.
Okay.
Do you know what I'm saying? So that name now took over
every
other name and overshadowed and they will be able to use it as an identity. So we must understand that. So, but the powers behind the Benin Empire and the North Empire as at that time were the Igbos. So the location of after the Benin has taken over, come out publicly, then they turned Ibanke people to slaves. And the remnant of Igbo around them as at that time that built that empire, and that was how they moved to that location called present Ibanke. And what is the meaning of Ibanke? I don't want to say that in the public. You understand? Because we understand what it means. But that consciousness actually came, and I celebrate them because I told you people, there's not how they continue to destroy, fragment Igbo region. No. 50 to 55% of people in the south region are Igbos. So it's a clear thing that they have identified, and they have gone as far as installing a traditional king called Eze, one of the Ibanke Kingdom. Meaning that they are part of the originality. When Lucky Dube said, I am going back to my roots. Africa must go back to their roots. And then, because when you know who you are, then you know where you are going. Kudos to the Banke people for identifying the genesis of the whole thing and are able to. There are other communities like Haitian and others, they are all Igbos. We know what happened at the end of the day, but they are all Biafrans.